Today I'm going to talk to you about something that everybody fears. They fear it even more than they fear public speaking. Sometimes it sneaks up on you and you have no idea it comes until, bam, it hits you. Other times you can see it coming gradually and you have a chance to prepare. This is change. Change is necessary for growth and success in your life. But Lexi, you say, I'm an adult. I'm happy. Why do I have to change? Obviously, people change from a single-cell organism up to a grown adult. And there are lots of changes that take place in childhood development. But once you're out of college, it's just fly on easy street. Go for it. Well, I'll submit to you that that is a way of stagnation and turns into depression and despair oftentimes. You really need, change is a catalyst for success. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and what happened was they interviewed a bunch of 18-year-olds. And 18-year-olds said, I'm not going to change in the next 10 years. I'm going to be the same person I am today. Then they interviewed 28-year-olds. And they said, have you changed in the last 10 years? And they're like, oh, absolutely. Could you imagine if I married the guy I was with at 18? So that's not surprising, right? Everybody has a lot of changes at that time. They go to college, they're on their own for the first time, they might get married, have children. But most of us are more than 28 now, right? What about when you're older? Well, the same study contacted 55-year-olds. The 55-year-old said, I'm not going to change in the next 10 years. I'm just going to be the same person I am now. And then they spoke to 65-year-olds, and they said, geez, I've changed so much in the last 10 years. Could you imagine if I was still married to the same guy? that wasn't really in the podcast. The point is, this change is ever present. It does not, you never stop changing. So today I'd like to talk about 3 different major life changes that you can take, and I would submit that are important to take. The first one is going off to college, and I'm sure everyone remembers leaving the nest. You could be change avoidant and say, I've got my mom doing my laundry and cooking for me. I only have to work at the golf course and caddying and spend my money on fun stuff. Well, where do you think that person is now? Or they can bite the bullet and go to college. You're all of a sudden responsible for at least making it to the dining hall at a regular time, doing your own laundry. My little brother is going through this right now, and it's difficult. All of a sudden, nobody's telling you, do your homework. Don't go out binge drinking. But at the end of the day, we can all admit that we are much better off as adults and going through that learning experience. The second big change is moving away from your hometown. It's really easy to live in your hometown. You've got all of your same friends from high school. You know everyone. You know who to avoid, where all the speed traps are. You can probably get a pretty good job since you know everybody. But I would argue a lot of the problems with this country are people that never meet anyone new. They never meet anybody different than themselves, and they fear those people. Moving away can be one of the scariest things. My husband and I moved to Connecticut last year. He had always lived in the same town. They are Portuguese, and they have a very close community. They all go to the same church. They all speak the same language. village, they all have all the same cultural ideas. And all of a sudden we're plopped 2 hours away from it. But this is when you really learn about yourself as an adult. You make adult friends. You make friends that you have something in common with, besides the fact that you went to the same school for 18 years. You also get more confidence. You learn to fix your car instead of calling your daddy. And it's really important to see how different parts of the world are. Finally, the third and biggest change. My husband and I never thought that we would have a child. We were always scared, to be honest. It's a scary thing. You always think you're going to lose all of your freedom. I really like going to vineyards. There's a myriad of different things that you know you're going to miss out on. My husband and I love to go out to eat. We love binge watching Netflix. We love going out on hikes, playing tennis. And by the time you're in your mid-30s, you're kind of locked into this groove where you have a life that you enjoy and don't want to make any changes. And I can't speak to how having a child changes your life yet. But being pregnant changes your life. It brings you closer to your spouse. I am amazed every day by the different things that my husband does for us. It's incredible. You become more tolerant of children. A year ago, if I was in a large group of toddlers, I would be shaking. I'd probably try to make an excuse to get out as soon as possible. But my husband and I were at the Weathersfield Corn Fest a few weeks ago, and there were children running all around, and I was like, oh, they're so happy. It's nice. Having kids is obviously not for everybody, but taking that extra step, getting someone that you're responsible for, whether it's a pet friend, a pet family member, or a child, or taking care of a senior person in your life, that extra responsibility makes you grow as a person. Do you believe that change is the catalyst to success? What kind of change do you foresee happening? What's the next step in your life? It's important to think about that. If humans never made any changes, we would have never stood up in the savannah to see over the grass. We'd still be eating ants out of clogs. So I would encourage everybody to think about the next step that you can take and go for it. Or grow for it.